Intellivision is a fondly remembered console from the golden age of video games. It gave Atari a run for their money, providing consumers good games and plenty of sports titles. Who would have thought a man who wrote poetry could sell a system so eloquently? And with the new system came a new controller, but not a conventional controller that we may have been used to by this point. And if you were paying enough attention, you would have noticed it by now. This is the Intellivision controller, the primary controller for Mattel Electronics' Intellivision. I say primary controller when I should rather say the only controller. I don't believe there are any secondary or other controllers made for the system, and considering the controllers are hardwired in, there's probably a reason for that. They're also referred to as hand controllers in the owner's manual. An odd term, but that is what they are. Going in for a closer look, we can see the still shiny numerical keypad with clear and enter buttons instead of where pound and the asterisk would go. The buttons are very comfortable and simple to press, but this may be too many buttons for somebody to handle, but Mattel Electronics had a solution for that. If you look towards the top of the keypad, you may notice a little slit there. That is for use with a little something called overlays, where most games could give you a clue with what buttons do what. There's a good reason to collect these games in the box. Gonna need those overlays to figure some of the more complex games out without resourcing the internet. Those who played it when it was new didn't have that luxury. Below the keypad is what is christened as the control disc, and it's pretty much as described, but also in gold. It was a new control scheme not really seen in a time where we mostly used regular buttons, joysticks, or the occasional trackball, so this had everybody wondering how it could work. It was touted to have the same functionality as a joystick and paddle combined, and capable of detecting 16 different directions, which is impressive, and it also reminds me of the NES Max's directional pad a little bit. It also looks like you could press the disc down, making for an additional button, but it actually doesn't do anything. There are additional buttons to be found, however, on either the left or right side of the controller, making this one of the few controllers to be lefty friendly. There are two action keys as they are called, one upper and one lower. The top on either side will act the same, so you won't need to worry about that. What you'll need to keep track of is what the bottom action keys do, as that can differentiate between games. But again, the overlay comes in to save the day, as it'll also show you what the action keys can do for you as well. It'd be weird to try and put overlays on these. Not sure if they could make stickers that tiny. Now it's time to look at everybody's favorite part of the video, the backside of the controller. And you know what? It's very depressing. And I mean that literally, as apart from screws, all we have is a depressed back, which in retrospect shows how small the components are when you think about it. The reason why it is this shape is so that when you put your controller away, you're able to fit your telephone wire cable underneath, as well as coil the cable beneath in its cradle, so says the owner's manual. Doesn't this look like an old cellular phone? This would make a great thing to prank your grandma with. But we'll be using this in the intended way, so let's get to playing with it, shall we? In my opinion, playing with this controller is pretty weird. I'm not entirely used to the whole control disc scheme, plus my thumb feels lightheaded, like it's not doing so much and it feels weird. I'm still able to play games like Astro Smash and Microsurgeon decently, but I'd say you'll need to play with it yourself to see how you like it. You don't always have to take my opinion. You have your own thoughts and will. I'm just expressing my thoughts as you would in the comments. The Intellivision controller is an okay controller. It did its job and even influenced more than its fair share of controllers, becoming a popular scheme until the crash of '83. You'll for sure get a pair of these when you get yourself an Intellivision, and you'll have a totally unique experience as a result. It'd be weird if you did find an original Intellivision and no controllers were there. It would make you wonder why people would cut them off. Maybe they thought the phone was out of service and took the component for spare parts. Got any fond memories with this controller/accessory? Tell me about it by leaving a comment. If you like what you see, be sure to leave a like. If you think others would like this, share the video around. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button pronto. This is BrianTheBlue, and I'll see you later.